You're the destroyer of all. You're my lover. You're my partner. You're my teacher of all. And I bow to you. And I bow to you. And I bow to you. And I bow to you.
You're the earth from which all things grow. You're the water, the eternal flow. You're the fire that glows on and on. You're the air I breathe in for this song. And I bow to you. And I bow to you. And I bow to you. And I bow to you.
You're the sweetness that embraces me. You're the all-pervading truth and beauty. You're the infinite love, bestower of grace. You're the compassion, healing space. And I bow to you. 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 Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Ad Gure Name, Jugat Gure Name, Sat Gure Name, Sri Guru Deve Name, Ad Gure Name, Jugat Gure Name, Sat Gure Name, Sri Guru Deve Name. Namo Namah, 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 Namo Namah
I bow to the divine consciousness within. We honor and celebrate that. That's who we are. Blessed be. Happy Father's Day.
Thank you. That was so
Yes.
beautiful. Thank you, Barbara. Thank you, Jeevan. Thank you, Luis. And we want to introduce Jessica Light, who is new with us
Yes.
today. Yay.
Look at us having a band.
A band happening over here
Yeah, it's
at the
awesome.
sound studios at CSL Kauai.
So welcome to Center for Spiritual Living Kauai. And we have a few announcements before we start, as always, but they are important. And Patrick, you want to talk about that?
I do. This Tuesday at 4 o'clock on Zoom. You may have not heard of that little technology called Zoom, but we're going to be using it again. But the inner child speaks out, and I just want to, usually we just announce it, but I am so excited about this particular 2-day event with the inner child speaks, which is really the inner you, whatever makes you feel comfortable. But this weekend I was doing some work on it, and especially around these times. And I think if we check in, even if you don't check in on Tuesday at 4, I urge you, I invite you to check into that place within you, because there's a little voice there that really needs to have some attention and really needs to be recognized at this time. And so I'm just inviting, maybe not, maybe you're a child's jumping out all over the place, but I really urge you to either come, this Tuesday, or really check in with yourself. There you go.
Right. And it is safe to do so.
It is safe.
So we're very excited to be able to say that we are going to actually hold our spiritual cinema here at the center on Friday night at 6:30. And it will be reservations only. So please hear that. Reservations only. Do not come to the door unless you have made a reservation. And the movie we're so excited to share together is Harriet, which is the beautiful journey of Harriet Tubman. Oh my God, it's an amazing movie if you haven't seen it. I've seen it and I can't wait to watch it again. But we will be doing that here at the center, 6:30 this Friday. And we will have popcorn. And again, please, reservations only. You can call, you can email. It's on the website. It comes out in the e-blast. All right.
Think of this as a spiritual cafe for the time being. Right?
Restaurant style.
Restaurant style.
Okay, so we are starting, again, small group gatherings. So on July 7th, which is a Tuesday evening, we will meet with our women's group here at the center with Reverend Diane and myself at 6 p.m., probably last an hour to an hour and a half, and we'll just have a beautiful time in conversation together. And again, it's reservation only, so please make your reservation ahead of time, either on the website, by email, or even call us, all right? And do not come to the door, reservation only. So it is our current intention to reopen the center here on July 5th, Sunday, July 5th, 4th of July weekend. And we were holding out because we thought, we'll have all or nothing. And what we're realizing is, as things are just changing daily on this island, and we are trying to stay in the fluidity of that, and it was either open or don't open. And we feel like, from what we've heard from you, that many of you want to come back, and some of you feel better watching online, and that's great. So we are going to do a soft, safe reopening on July 5th. And what it will look like, again, is that you have to make a reservation, because we will only be able to have a certain amount of people in here. So please make a reservation ahead of time, again, on the website. Well, actually, that reservation will be available as of next week. And we'll see how that works and how many people really want to come back. And again, you can always watch online. That's the beauty of this, thanks to Rob Jones and Jonathan over there.
That's the one thing I really just interject for a moment.
Yeah.
If you do not feel safe in any way, or if you feel compromised, or you're not feeling well, or you just don't like the idea at all, we are still here. We're going to have this. We're going to have our hospitality afterwards.
On Zoom,
we want to win-win. I was telling Jessica this morning, we were talking about it, the all or nothing, and I was like, all or nothing. And when we do all or nothing, we usually get nothing. And so I really had to change that stubborn Taurus, Patrick, too, that says, sometimes we have to kind of just balance it and align, and so we all get to partake. And that's what we're doing, and we're really doing the best we can here at CSL Kauai for that.
And we appreciate your continued prayers surrounding
absolutely.
This, and just knowing the highest for our island, for the world, and for CSL Kauai. And so thank you. And our office hours are on the website, and our sessions with our practitioners are always available. And then we just want to also mention July 19th, which was supposed to be our big gathering, our birthday gathering that we always have at Lidgate Park every year. And we have been canceled by the county. They're not allowing people to meet there as of now. I mean, we have our permit, but apparently it's been canceled. So Michelle says that
Michelle's
she read that
information.
gatherings over up to 100 were allowed now outdoors. But we still don't know because we still have to have that permit approved by the county. So we're going to call again this week. But in the meantime, we have booked the Sacred Earth Choir. They're ready to sing. We have Saber Kauka coming to do our blessing. Everybody's ready for it. And if all else fails, we will do it here. We won't be able to have as many people, but we'll do it here, and we'll find some way for us all to get together and celebrate. So we're still working on that. So please, again, your prayers
And patience.
and stay positive about it. Yeah. So I think that's good. And then after this service today, we will have our Zoom hospitality as always. And then don't forget about our donations. There's a donation button online, and we thank you so much. It's been very wonderful. The center is being kept up during this time very well. It's good. We're good. So thank you for that, and we appreciate it. And there's a lot going on.
There's one thing going on that we forgot about. This week, Reverend Michelle. We're not having, it's not an open thing, but we are going to live stream it, and it's going to be our installation for her becoming a minister. So we are very excited about that. You know, for a center that supposedly things were quieting down, we're pretty busy now that I'm looking at all of this.
I know.
For a center that we haven't been able to get through the doors, we're doing pretty good.
We are going to have a beautiful celebration service for Michelle on
It'll be a live
Thursday
stream.
night at 6.
Right,
6
6 o'clock.
yeah,
And
6 o'clock.
the same live stream, Rob, as you have on
Yeah.
right now? Yeah.
It's the same live stream, and there will be music and beautiful celebration for her, and then a little farewell for her and Ron, because they are leaving on July 1st to move to the mainland. So that will be part of that too. So yes.
That's us.
That's it. Is that it? I think
Now that's
it.
enough about us. Let's go to another part of the global community as we invite Reverend Walt up here to just take a moment here. Our global community, I think, needs some of our love right now. There's a lot going on. But you know what's at the center of it is love and peace. And that I know, that I go to bed with, that I trust in, that I believe in. And so let's take some time right now to just contemplate peace, contemplate love,
Yeah.
as we light our peace, our beautiful peace candle.
We watched a beautiful film last night that just is coming out called The Field. And in that film, they showed how when people come together, they showed it scientifically, how when people come together just in a meditation or even a moment like this, that it is felt everywhere and it does make a difference. So thank you. And we will take that moment right now to center in our heart space. And now Reverend Walt will take us further into contemplation.
And so I have a quote for you, not just for those of us from Kauai, but for everyone. It's from William James. We are like islands in the sea, separate on the surface, but connected in the deep. We are like islands in the sea, separate on the surface, but connected in the deep. I encourage you now to take those words into contemplation. We are like islands in the sea, separate on the surface, but connected in the deep. I encourage you now, as we continue with our spiritual mind treatment, to join with me. And in this place and in this moment, I know that there is only one power, one presence, one spirit in the world that I choose to call God, universe, the one. And this life of God within me radiates and shines forth from me in a constant stream of light to all. Today, I am one with the all-good. My God and I are one. And it is within that I find that secret place of the Most High. It is where I feel the presence of God. And I know that I am complete and perfect now. And what I know for myself, I know for each person gathered here in this room and within the sound of my voice, we are all connected because we are all God. And therefore, knowing this, I release all thoughts of fear, doubt, uncertainty, dis-ease. In this time of COVID-19, of political and social unrest, there is so much that could tear me apart. And yet I know within that I am peace. I am love. I am the connection that the world needs. And I also know that the divine plan for me is perfect, and I am held in the mind of God as a complete expression of life and truth in every area of my life. I know that perfect health is mine. I make the decisions that I need to make to keep myself healthy and to heal from within. I am perfect abundance. I have all that I need. It comes to me just as I need it, and I give from what I have in my abundance. I know that I am expressing my creative talents perfectly. That the things that I do, the things that bring me joy and bring joy to others, just come freely from me. And I know that love is the basis for all my relationships. That the people in my life are there for me to love and for me to receive love from. And knowing all these things, my heart is filled with gratitude. It is overflowing with joy as I think of all that is mine. And with this gratitude in my heart, expressing in my life, I now release my word into the law, knowing that it cannot return to me void, that each thing that I have stated is already complete and perfect in the mind of God. And knowing this, we join together and say, and so it is.
Mahalo.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. So here you are, if you just tuned in. I'm Rev Rita, this is Rev Patrick, and we're here at Center for Spiritual Living Kauai, where we celebrate something called the science of mind and spirit. And it is a science and it is spiritual because it reminds us and lets us know that we are, as Walt so beautifully expressed, that power and presence of God, that God is right here within us. It's not some far-off being. It is right in the center of our being, each of us, and we are each one of God, and we are each connected in that energy and in that source of the divine, of the love, loving presence. And as we live our lives and realizing that, that's the most important thing, to realize that and start to live from that place. And as we do, we see that we change our lives for the better and change our planet for the better. If we look at everybody else as that power and presence of spirit, of love, no matter what is going on in their atmosphere, there's still that. So that's what we celebrate here. Oneness, really, unity, and that loving presence. Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you. Yep, that's what we do here. We also celebrate something else. And that is something that we know. Well, I know for a fact there's somebody new out there in cyberland because we get lots of messages and we say, we watched you for the first time. And so we know that there's somebody out there. So we got something to say to you because we know something about you that you may or may not know and just discovering for yourself. So here it goes. You ready? Okay.
You are magnificent.
And I bet you're wondering, how in the world did all these people in this room know that you are magnificent? It's because we recognized it in ourselves first. And then once we do that, just like peace, love, whatever, we can see it in you. God meeting God. So let's all say it together, shall we? I am magnificent. Now, wherever you are, it's okay. We can't see you. You see us. Go to your left, to your right. I don't care where. Go somewhere and let somebody else know that they are magnificent. Go to the mirror, run to the bathroom if you have. Just get back for the opening song. That's all it is. So in the meantime, let's all get up on our feet wherever you're at in your home. Get on up. You've been sitting long enough. Let's get on up and have our opening song.
Put that coffee down.
Ooh, put the lid on it.
The way of the heart, let the way of the heart, let the way of the heart shine through you. Let the way of the heart, let the way of the heart, let the way of the heart shine through. Love upon love upon love. All hearts are beating as one. Light upon light upon light. Shine as bright as the sun. Let the way of the heart, the way of the heart, let the way of the heart shine through. Let the way of the heart, the way of the heart, the way of the heart shine through.
So let's just take a moment to keep on shining, letting that heart just expand and expand and expand. There is no separation between what's going on in that camera and all those people out here and what's happening in this atmosphere right here. It is all about love. It is all about peace. There is the frequency of the divine having its way with each and every one of us right here, globally and cosmically it is having it. So I am so blessed to be in this room, in this energy, in this atmosphere of absolute love. And it doesn't stay in this room, it goes out. It goes out and expands itself. Love upon love upon love, 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 love. We cannot say it enough, we cannot feel it enough. So I just bless this day knowing that this time together was by divine appointment. And we have come together to know and to remember not only love, but to remember that that is our identity. That is everything seen and unseen. And that is what we are celebrating here today. We are celebrating the fearlessness of love that says, I am here. I am that I am. I am that I am. Say it with me. I am that I am. And now we simply, gently, lovingly just ease our way into this atmosphere once again. We let it be. We let it go. As together we say, as one. And so it is.
Let the way of the heart, let the way of the heart, let the way of the heart shine through. Let the way of the heart, let the way of the heart, let the way of the heart shine through. Love upon love upon love. Our hearts are beating as one. light upon light upon light. Shine as bright as the sun. Let the way of the heart, let the way of the heart, let the way of the heart shine through. Let the way of the heart, let the way of the heart, let the way of the heart shine through. Thank you.
That's how we do it. Thank you. Mahalo.
Thank you so much. So centering, so loving. So I want to just say Happy Father's Day. Happy Father's Day. I recognize all fathers, no matter what. I recognize my father. I recognize anyone that's ever fathered anyone or fathered an idea or a person that wasn't even their own child. I recognize that thing called father. And I celebrate it. I recognize our forefathers and all they went through to bring this beautiful thing called America into being. And I recognize the fathers of New Thought, especially the fathers today. There are mothers too, but we'll stick with the fathers today who went against everything in a time period when it was not accepted to think of yourself as divine, to think of yourself as the power and presence of spirit. And they said, no, there's something greater. There's something greater than this. I am divine. I have the power of my mind to create my life. And I thank them for sticking to that and to bringing new thought into the world again, because it's really not new thought in reality. It's old thought. It goes back way, way thousands and thousands of years, that idea that we can use our minds to create our lives and that we are consciousness. We are consciousness. So that being said, I just want to talk about, in case you don't know, what we really believe about God, about the Father, whatever we want to call it, the source, the divine, what we as religious scientists believe about it. And our founder, Ernest Holmes, who was an amazing mystic and a person who did a lot of research into all religions, into all cultures, into all philosophies, and brought them all together in a beautiful way that we could use them. And he said this: if we think of God as a heavenly dictator, something apart from that which lives and moves and has its being far away from where we are, then we are certain to believe ourselves disconnected from this infinite presence, and the inevitable consequences of such thinking would be a terrible fear that we should never be able to make contact with him. But if we know that God is an indwelling presence, our prayer is naturally addressed to this presence in us. We long for and need a conscious union with the infinite. This is as necessary to the nature and intellect of man and woman as food is to the well-being of our physical body. And I think that that is what we are looking for right here and right now today so much, that connection to something greater than we are in this finite form. To know that within us is everything that we could ever need to move through this birth that we're going through right now, to move through it as difficult as it is. And some people will say, well, where's God in all this? God is right here, as I said. There's no doubt in my mind that God is right here. And I read this article, and it said that same thing, where is God and all here? And they said, we have proof that God is here. We have proof. And their proof they gave was that there's a greater openness to spirituality right now. There is a greater openness to it. More and more people are going within. We were forced within when we went into COVID-19 and we were all having to be in our homes and having to look at something other than our physical world. So, and then they said that community is stronger than ever. And I think that we can feel that. I know we can. Even during this time of unrest, people are gathering together like they never have before to say enough is enough is enough and doing their part. And then that we're growing in faith. I believe I am growing in faith. And I believe that we are growing in faith. I think that sometimes we stumble and we fall off the mark of that. But I really do believe that it has to be greater, because if it wasn't greater than its opposite, which for me is fear, then we wouldn't exist at all. We would just be falling into the abyss. And I feel this force going forward right now that's saying, no, I have faith in the good. I have faith in the better. I have faith that this is working out. And then you go to yourself like, well, why does things seem worse? And I have this beautiful quote by this beautiful woman who is a Science of Mind minister. Her name is Reverend Donna Michael. And she wrote a song called "The God Is Holding Me." I'm sure she's written others, but that's the one that sticks in my mind. And she wrote that when she was having a dark night of the soul. And she has a quote that I think about a lot when I'm at times like this. Like, why, when you're trying to change, when you're trying to make a change, does it seem like things are getting worse? And this is what she wrote. I have often found that when one is poised and ready to move past something once and for all, it fights like hell to stay in our experience and maintain its grip over us. It's the last gasp of a dying fear. I'm going to read it again because it's so good. And this is from her life. She's been through all the trials and tribulations in her life, and this is what she came up with. I have often found that when one is poised and ready to move past something once and for all, it fights like hell to stay in our experience and maintain its grip over us. It's the last gasp of a dying fear. Now, the reason it's fighting so hard is because we're dealing with our subconscious. We are all living in the subconscious mind, this collective field of energy that we've all fed into for centuries and centuries and centuries. And we're now, once and for all, making the change. We're now, once and for all, trying to move through that. And Patrick and I were talking about this week. We keep hearing from the scientists that we're 95% subconscious and only 5% conscious. Now, much more can we tell ourselves this? And our subconscious is guiding us and leading us and living our lives. Subconscious is the builder of the body. Subconscious is responsible for everything. So 95% and 5% conscious. So the truth is, we know it now. And we have ways of changing our subconscious. And that's what we're being asked to do right now. We're bringing all of this up so that we can forcefully, if we have to, with our minds, our own minds, our consciousness, it's up to us. It's not up to anyone else. We're the ones that have to do it. We have to shift our consciousness. And we can't just keep saying that it's race consciousness, it's subconscious, we don't know what we're doing. We know what we're doing. So we have a powerful tool in our teaching called spiritual mind treatment. I'm sure others have other tools, but I'm just going to talk about this for just a second, because spiritual mind treatment, what it does, it's not just a prayer, it's an actual movement of energy and directing the subconscious. So as Bruce Lipton was saying, use affirmations over and over. It takes repetition. So we have to repeat. We have to repeat whatever it is over and over, because we're shifting the subconscious. And then what happens is there's finally, and you probably know this from different parts of your life. I know for myself, I call it embodiment or getting the click, when you finally know it's done and you've got it and you're moving with it. But you got to kind of move with it before that in order to let that happen. It's called treat and move your feet. But this powerful tool of spiritual mind treatment and this powerful tool of using affirmations, they have to be things that mean something to you, and you have to realize who's doing it. You're doing it. That power and presence of God within you, that consciousness of God can move a mountain, like I said last week. So we no longer have the excuse that we've done this for so many eons that, it's just a reflex now. No, it's not a reflex. We know better. And once we know, once we're expanded, once we know, then we have no excuse anymore but to take our own minds and cultivate them in love, cultivate them in peace. And you say, oh, well, I don't know what's in the subconscious. You do know, because all you have to do is look at your life and how you're living your life and what's happening around you. That's you living on automatic by your subconscious. I know that. When anything comes up and you look at it and you go, oh, I didn't create that or whatever, you go to yourself, there's some thought or belief in me that accepted that. And so that's where you have to go. And I think it's time now that we all take responsibility for that and do it lovingly and carefully and beautifully, because it's up to us. So this thing about fear, I think we have to go in and we have to ask ourselves, what are we really afraid of? Because I think fear, as Ernest Holmes says, fear is the great enemy of humanity. Fear. But fear is a mental attitude, and as such can be converted into something else. It's just what I was just talking about. It can be converted into something else. Fear is the reverse mental attitude to faith and is the result of a lack of faith. Fear arises from that mental attitude which limits the possibility and the willingness of spirit to give us the good we so greatly desire. Fear is the denial that the divine is the center and the source of all good. We must do all in our power to overcome it. And he goes on to say, to overcome fear is the greatest adventure of the mind of humanity. It's an adventure. If we really looked at it like that, like we're adventurers now, just like they went out into uncharted waters when they thought the world was flat. We're going where our minds have never gone before. This idea that we could release fear instead of letting it take a gripping hold of us. And there's a lot of that today. But we don't have to be fearful, because there's a power and a presence within us that is greater than any outside condition. There is a power and a presence within us that is eternal, and all we have to do is turn within, and it turns to us, and we can feel it. We know, because we've done it. Many of us, we know that it's what's carrying us through right here and right now. So, yeah, celebrate. He says, surrender to love, and love will win. And I think we're finding that now, that love is winning. Love can't fail us. And like I said, it's not a Valentine. It's the very essence of who we are and the very power which we operate in the world by. It's a thing that when we go within and we say, what's my next thing to do? It's coming from love. And that way, that's the way we know it's the correct thing to do. It's the right thing to do for us. And each of us have whatever is individual to us to do. Mine happens to be standing here in front of you and inspiring and doing what I do as a minister and as a wife and as a mother and all the things that I am. So I want to close with a quote that is an Ernest Holmes quote that I always use, but I have to say it again because I think it's so important now. And it has to do with this idea of repetition and knowing that we can change the subconscious of the race by changing one of us. One of us ripples out into the field of energy and makes a difference. And he says, stay with the one and never deviate from it. Never leave it for a moment. Never leave it for a moment. Nothing else can equal this attitude. To desert the truth in the hour of need is to prove that we don't know the truth. We don't have that excuse anymore. We do know the truth. We know the truth is love. We know it in the deeps of our heart because of who and what we are. And when things look the worst, this is the supreme moment to demonstrate, to ourselves that there are no obstructions to truth. There are no obstructions to it. Truth demonstrates immediately. We've seen it. We've seen it. We see it over and over. Now's our chance to continue in that field of energy and to know that, again, that divine presence is within us. It lives and breathes us in every single moment. And I'm going to invite Patrick up right now. And we're going to sing a little lullaby to you. And we picked this song because it tells me that within us there's something that protects us at all times. It's the Father within, the Mother within, whatever you want to call it, the divine presence, the love that will never desert us no matter what. And when we use the word demons in this, because we do use that word, because actually this song comes from a musical called Sweeney Todd, but we won't go there. So when we use the word demons, what we're talking about when we sing it, because we sang this to each other on our wedding day, is that we're talking about those negative thoughts. We're talking about that stuff that takes hold of you and is fearful. And that's what we're talking about. So we'd like to sing this lullaby to you. Nothing's gonna harm you, not while I'm around.
Nothing's gonna harm you, no sir, not while I'm around.
Demons are prowling everywhere nowadays.
I'll send 'em howling, I don't care, I've got ways.
Nothing's gonna hurt you, no one's gonna dare.
Others can desert you, not to worry, whistle, I'll be there.
Demons will charm you with a smile for a while, but in time, nothing can harm you, not while I'm around. Being close and being clever ain't like being true. I don't need to, I would never hide a thing from you like some.
No one's gonna hurt you,
I would never hurt you,
no one's gonna dare.
I won't dare.
Others can desert you,
I would not desert you.
whistle, I'll be there.
Demons will charm you with a smile for a while, but in time,
Nothing can harm you,
nothing can harm you,
not while I'm around. Mahalo.
So,
Mahalo, Barbara.
so in closing, there is that place within you that can never be touched and harmed by anything. And that's what we need to turn to right here and right now. Namaste. Your turn.
Yeah. Wow.
There you go.
I always love that song. It always, every time I sing it, it stirs up something different. And now it's actually stirring up something. It's, I wonder if I'll cry again. No, I just kidding. I'm kidding. But I've been working with this week, this whole idea of nothing's going to harm you. Because I've had to ask myself this question all week that Albert Einstein asks us. And it's the most important decision we make is whether we believe we live in a friendly or hostile universe. The most important decision we make is whether we believe we live in a friendly or a hostile universe. And I've been asking myself that all week long. Because some part of this week I was Superman, feeling like I was going to, fly up and conquer everything. And the next day I felt like it was going to all conquer me. And I just was, it was kind of like crazy making for me. And I had to really settle in with it. And I love this, nothing's going to harm you, not while I'm around. I love that feeling. But I don't always feel that. And as I was saying last week, is that so many realizations have been coming forth for me about, someone asked me last week when I said, I'm not going to be happy until every one of the kids are in the room. And they said, well, did it have to do with your father? I'm going, oh no, not psychoanalyzed at a picnic. And I said, and they said, and I said, well, I hadn't really thought about it, but I realized this about my dad. My dad could have never gotten off the couch and it still would have been okay. He had some of his things that he did. And I was thinking, actually, sidetracking about Father's Day, I just realized yesterday that it was Father's Day. And I thought, that's kind of odd. And I thought, well, because I'm not really connected that deeply to my father. Not anymore. I was all the years I was talking about all the things he didn't do right. I was connected but once I let go of that, he didn't seem to play such a huge role in my life. But I always wanted that feeling of, I wanted that feeling that somebody else was going to take care of it, that maybe I didn't have to fix it all. And I grew up that way, and that's not about, the pity party for Patrick, but what I do tell you about is it made me strong. But because sometimes I just wanted to say, and my mom had that. My mom had a lot of Father's Day. I always wished her a happy Father's Day because she was like my father, and it was so tedious, once again, about the Father's Day that I remember picking out a card. You have to pick out a card on Father's Day, and it was, how do I say this? Drudgery? Because I couldn't find, you're always there for me, and you're this, and you're that, and you're next, and then you're trying to find, and then you had to get this generic one that said, Happy Father's Day. That's the one we're going to give him. But I think the deep part of me probably wanted that, and I know some of you understand that card picking thing. My mom was easy, and I thought to myself, I wanted somebody to say, demons are prowling everywhere nowadays. I'll send them howling. I don't care. I got ways. What a great feeling that is. I got ways, man. You just step aside. I'll take care of this. Really? What am I going to do? Nothing. You're not going to do anything. And so I have been learning, and we have been learning as spiritual directors or ma and pa of CSL Kauai through all of this. I have learned probably more about myself, and I'm really actually very blessed to have, because I'm learning even more about the greatness of who I am. And on Tuesday, I had this quote I put out on Facebook because I was charged, man. All my power has been restored. I am divinely charged and ready to demonstrate until Wednesday. This stuff is crazy making. I'm sitting there going, I'm charged. Wow, I could feel it, divine frequency, And then Wednesday, I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to do. And I'm like, oh, man. So I've had to get a hold of this stuff this week. And I liked what Rita was saying about the 95%, because this is what I know. I am so exhausted from talking about what's not happening, what can't happen. Don't worry about it. I was programmed between the ages of 1 and 7. And I love it because my whole inner child workshop is based around things like that. But there's something else it's based upon. That there's this part of me that is 100% spirit. And just saying it makes me feel charged. Because the whole idea is that when I get into 95% of me, I'm talking about doom and gloom. There ain't no hope when I keep hearing 95% of you is programmed. It's programmed. It's programmed. Mama, daddy, brother, uncle, sis, you know, and you're like, but 5%? I'm going to turn that 5% into 100% because I'm spirit, even if 95% is running the show. Or at least, and then once you know what's running the show, as Rita was saying, well, how does it run the show if you know what's running the show? It's supposed to be the other way around. It's like, I don't know why I did that. I just did it. It was just a part of who I am. Oh my God. If you ever want to push on my buttons, just tell me that. Say, Patrick, it's just the way I am. It'll be like electrocuted. Just the way I am. My goodness. But anyway, 100% spirit. So what I've been going through this week is so much. I'm just going to be real honest with you right here. I'm pooped, man. Pooped. Do we still use the word pooped? Yeah, why not? Because I'll tell you why. Because I've been working this whole thing about fear, and my little inner child, you know, it had something to come up to say to me too. It wanted to say, and that's why I suggested so much today, because it gives me such strength. Sometimes we're just scared. No going around it, no, you know, it's the going around it for Patrick, for Reverend Patrick here, that causes me most of my troubles. Don't worry about it, everything's fine, you know, another dilemma, boom, boom, you know, let's go, let's open, let's close, let's open, let's go, you know, and it's just, finally you just have to say, stop it. Because there's this power that is within me that is so wonderful, but there's also another part of me, a little bitty little boy that says, I'm scared. And I want you to send them howling. Find a way, I don't care. I want you to send them howling. I want you to get rid of the COVID. I want you to get rid of it. I want to have this, all of that stuff. That's that part of us, and it's beautiful. It's beautiful because what we're really asking is that part of us is asking us, not mama, not daddy, not your wife, not your partners, not your ministers, not anybody. That part is saying, send them howling, Patrick. And then sometimes you have to turn to that part of yourself and say, you know what? I'm scared too. And then that little part of ourselves says, well, this is a fine mess. If you're scared and I'm scared, what the hell are we going to do? We're going to love each other. We're going to love each other. I spent so much time yesterday just hugging me. And not the kind of hug you do when you're doing a talk or a workshop, you know, that is just fits in, like, everybody give yourself a hug. No, I hugged me. I hugged me like I had never hugged me before. And I just said, we got this, man. We got this. We got this. Because there was a lot of victimized feelings going on, and it was interesting, I heard this yesterday, being victimized doesn't necessarily make you a victim. We're never victims. They're just conditions out there. And I was looking into this idea of fixed mindset and growth mindset. Ooh. Have you ever looked at those two? Fixed mindset is what? It says, that's just the way it is. Yep, ain't going to be able to do anything about that one. They got us. They got us. What are we going to do? fixed. It's just the way I was. I was raised, and they were talking about that. People that have been raised in poverty, that's a fixed mindset. So when you say you can have anything, you say, did you know that you were magnificent? Then they say, and I've worked in the inner city, they say to me, who are you trying to fool, man? I'm what? No, you're magnificent. I always remember that because they always look at me like, yeah, save that for something else. I go, no, I know that, and I'm going to keep knowing it for you until you can know it for yourself, and that's why we say it every Sunday. You are magnificent even if you don't feel it. Whew. It's insanity. It's insanity, I'm telling you. It's insane. You know what insanity is? It's caused by duality. It's the only time we go crazy is when I make a decision over here and then I wait. I don't know if any of you have been doing this lately, but this making a decision and it changing by morning has been, and we've been doing that because been holding on. I'm holding on to the, I never watched in the beginning, but I'm holding on to the mayor's report like 50 people can come in, 100 people can come in. We're not sure today. And then I'm like, oh, okay. So but I understand that, but I'm just saying that it's been making for crazy making. So fixed mindset and a growth mindset is this, that we're growing right now. And that's the mindset that I have. And I thought that growth was a little more exciting. You know, when I decided to grow, be like when I decided to move to New York, and then I went to people moving, that whole thing. I'm growing, man, I'm growing. And then there's that part that you're just going, wow. Growth sometimes hurts. This growth spurt that we're all in, ooh, I never had a baby, but I can just imagine because it is just incredible. I want to read this one quote for you, and then I'll semi-close. When's the last time I told you all I love you? Because I love you. And I love me. I love me. All of me. All of it. All of it. Never allow yourself to go very long being fearful or anxious. You may cover up your fear and anxiety by all sorts of metaphysical platitudes, but that is not enough. You got to pluck it out, get rid of it, get yourself centered in the consciousness of love, and know that in your love center, really hear this, in your love center, there is security, there is freedom from all harm, from all difficulties, from all confusion, because you are centered in God, and God is love. Simple as that, right? Period. Except that there might be a comma on Monday. And if that comma, I love that, and so it is, period. Until tomorrow. Then I'm going to. And you know what? All of that is absolutely just okay. Just wonderful. Because the message that I have today is that there is a place inside of us that does protect us, that does say demons are howling everywhere nowadays. I'll send them howling. I don't care, I've got ways. But we have to actually live through that way, love through that way. And no matter what is happening on the outside, we're not ignoring it, but we're going to love ourselves through it. I really invite us this week to know that it's not crazy making. It's just growing. So we can fix our mind or we can grow with our mind. And I've learned the most valuable lesson this week about all or nothing. I thought all or nothing had such a power to it. Until I realized that all or nothing is division. It's a house divided against itself. It's not unity. It's just stubbornness. And I probably will be a little bit more stubborn throughout my life. But all I know right now is that I am claiming for each and every one of us right here, right now, the all of life. The all of life. Nothing. Nothing. If you want to use nothing, nothing is going to harm you. There are demons prowling all around. All those conditions out there are prowling around. But there's a part of us right at the center that has us, that wraps its energy around us, through us, and as us. And so it is. And now, our wonderful Jessica Light is going to do our special music with us today with Jeevan here. Once again, thank you for joining us today, joining our Ohana. Thank you.
Thank you for including me. Hello. Hi, everybody. I'm going to share a love song, but it's about, from my love center, as you said, to yours. This song is about how we are all love, and we are all one. And as we are learning to come into unity in the world, at the same time we are learning to come into unity within ourselves, loving all of our parts on the outside and on the inside. I know I'm doing that in my own life, finding more parts of myself that need to be loved. And sharing the music that comes through me is definitely sharing and including more of myself in my life. So I'm really glad to be live here, sharing with you all. Thank you, Reverends, for including me, and thank you, Jeevan, for welcoming me here and for helping me share more in the world. So this song is called Nothing More. It's by Alternate Roots. I've adapted it, though. And it was sung at the Winter Olympics in 2014. So it is a song of unity throughout the world. Here we go. There's the beginning. To be humble, to be kind, it is the giving of the peace in your mind. To a stranger, to a friend, to give in such a way that has no end. We are love, we are one, we are how we treat each other when the day is done. We are peace, we are the open door, we are how we treat each other and nothing more. To be bold, to be brave, it is the awakening that our hearts crave, and the darkness can come quick. The dangers in the anger and the hanging on to it. We are love, We are how we treat each other when the day is done. We are peace. We are the open door. We are how we treat each other and nothing more. And tell me what it is that you see. A world that's full of endless possibilities. And heroes don't look like they used to. They look like you do. We are love. We are one. We are how we treat each other when the day is done. We are peace. We are the open door. We are how we treat each other and nothing more. We are how we treat each other and nothing more. We are how we treat each other.
Yeah. That's beautiful.
That was beautiful. Thank you.
I love that lyric. Heroes don't look the way they used. They look like you. They look like you.
We are how we treat each other.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. Give it up again for our beautiful Jessica Light.
Thank you. Whoa. Thank you.
Here we are, CSL Kauai Studios.
Yeah.
Sunday mornings.
And you wonder who we're talking to out here. We have some of our leadership here, so that's why we're getting used to having people in the room.
Because when y'all come back, we're going to be like this.
I know, we're still staring
We're
at
not
the
even going to
camera.
look at you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, this is our time of giving back, of practicing the law of circulation and giving back to where we're spiritually fed. And knowing that you were spiritually fed today, we enjoy
Yes.
receiving back from you. So it helps support CSL Kauai and helps this message go out into the world and continue to go out. So I'm going to read the love exchange, and then we will go into our song. And if you notice, there is a donate button on the screen. You can always go to the website too. So it goes like this. I give freely and joyously from the abundance and fullness of my overflowing wealth. I know that my gift goes with love as it touches and blesses Center for Spiritual Living Kauai, my life and the world. And so it is. Song.
Picking it up.
Do you mind blessing it? You bless it?
Blessed am I, Spirit am I. I am the infinite within my soul. I have no beginning and I have no end. All this I am. Blessed am I, Spirit am I. I am the infinite within my soul. I have no beginning and I have no end. All this I am. Blessed am I, Spirit am I. I am the infinite within my soul. I have no beginning and I have no end. All this I am. Blessed am I, Spirit am I. I am the infinite within my soul. I have no beginning and I have no end. All this I am.
Thank you. I love that song.
Reverend Walt.
Yes. I am blessed. We are blessed. CSL Kauai is blessed with these gifts of love, not only in this basket, but online and in so many, many ways. So we give thanks for this love being expressed financially, physically. It is love. And for this, we give thanks. So it is.
So it is. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
That was beautiful. Thank you.
Kids.
Okay, so we have our children online, and we're going to give them their blessing right now. So I know you're out there, and we send this blessing to you from CSL Kauai. You are amazing. You are perfect. You are magnificent, and we love you.
And just a little announcement about the children, in case you missed some of the announcements, like you went and got coffee or something, and then you came in after the announcements. Not that that's ever been done in the past, but if it were, this is what we know about the kids. We've been getting a lot of emails, and I've answered a few of them. For now, as we do our soft reopening restaurant, cafe style, CSL Kauai, we will not be having the children's program. And they will have to sit with you if you do bring them. The reason for that being is the person upstairs, she has left. She has left the building. And so their little room is not there. Their space is not there. So just know that, and we are working on that. And Miss Janice is gone for a little bit, and she'll be back. And I just wanted you to know that we are working on that, but they are not, I have to repeat, this is an all or nothing. Who knew? They're not going back in the kitchen, especially during this time of a little bit of separation. The kitchen can't do it.
But we will be starting our kids and arts program.
Yes,
in
we
August.
will be,
Yes.
August.
So that's the positive part.
Yep.
So don't forget, we have practitioners available anytime. Just call our number 755-9177, and you can set up an appointment with a practitioner. You can just leave a prayer request there, and we'll make sure you get to the right practitioner. So do that. We have. If I start naming them now, I'll probably forget them, but they're all available.
They're all available.
Okay.
Look at the program that you don't have.
We'll see you on Zoom after this if you choose to sign on. And if you choose to come to Harriet, the movie, on Friday night at 6:30, please make a reservation. There will be nobody
Email,
walking
you can
through the
even
door.
call it in,
Yeah,
say it
call
to us.
email,
we'll write
go
it
to the
down.
website.
Yeah.
All right?
Okay.
Thank you so much. And let's have a beautiful closing with this
Yes.
beautiful song by Daniel Nemamad.
It's an idea whose time has come. A new generation decides as one. On the same small planet we are born. It's never been so obvious before. We breathe the same air, drink the same water, walk the same earth, kiss the same sky, breathe the same air. I think we ought to get along better, you and I. The future of history is crystal clear. The borders between us will disappear. Now the same small planet we are born. There's no foreign country anymore. We breathe the same air, drink the same water, walk the same earth, kiss the same sky, breathe the same air. I think we ought to get along better, you and I.
And so right here and right now, I know we are already getting along so great. That is what is happening right here and right now. There is no stopping truth from making itself known on this planet and in each of our hearts. So I know right here and right now I'm grateful for that. And I'm grateful for all of the people who have served today. And some of them are standing up here. Almost Reverend Dr. Walt. I know that's coming soon. And Reverend Diane, who assists us all the time with her beautiful consciousness and everything she does in the center. And Michelle, who is Reverend Michelle. Oh my God, yes, I love calling her Reverend Michelle. Yeah, and her beautiful husband, Ron, and Roseanne, who is on the chat. No, not yet. You will be, though. And beautiful Jonathan back there, and Rob, who makes it all possible with the camera, and Ron Stover, who is an amazing hospitality leader and everything else. We love you, Ron. We love you, Charles, who is hiding in the back. You can't hide. And Sue Buckley, whose shoulders Reverend Diane stands on. Yes. And then over here, I just want to give great gratitude. I'm so grateful for this music team today. It really meant a lot to me. Thank you. Thank you, Barbara. Thank you, Jeevan. Thank you, Jessica. Thank you, Louise, back there, always holding the light, holding the beat. Oh my God, it was beautiful. So with this thankfulness and gratefulness I feel in my heart right now, I just know as we go from here, we take this feeling of love and we bring it out into the world and touch lives in our own unique way. I am so grateful, and I just release my word. I let it go as we breathe in and breathe out together and affirm. And so it is.
We breathe the same air, drink the same water, walk the same earth, kiss the same sky. We breathe the same air, and I think we ought to get along better, you and I. We breathe the same air, drink the same water, walk the same earth, drink the same sky. We breathe the same air, and I think we ought to get along better, you and I.
Thank you, Reverend Patrick.